You're listening to Your Highest Self podcast, episode number 12, Self-Love versus Self-Worth. Welcome back to the show, guys. My name is Shanae, and I'm your host. Thank you so much, so much for investing in yourself today and doing it with me, because I know there are so many podcasts out there, and I'm not Insta famous or anything, so I'm happy you found me and that you're here with me today. So if you are new to the show, welcome, and if you're not new, thank you so much for coming on back. In case you don't know who I am a former WBFF Bikini Pro, competition prep expert, and master life coach. I guess you should say turned into a master life coach. So my background is in bodybuilding. I've been in the diet industry for years. And then on my own personal journey through self-love, I have found this path towards my highest self. And in this show, my goal is to provide you with those holistic solutions so that you can also step into your highest self with your mindset, fitness, and nutrition, because you cannot have your dream body with a broken mindset, and you cannot have anything with a broken mindset, really. So it all ties into together. So today's episode is something I'm super excited about, and I think I say that every single time, but it's truly because I am so passionate about everything I talk about, and this particular subject is something that I can honestly talk about for hours, and I always do when I'm coaching this subject to my clients inside my life coaching programs, and I get up on my soapbox and I just get after it. So I'm super excited to be able to bring you this coaching session. So today, we're going to discuss what is self-love and why it isn't the end-all be-all, what is self-worth, and then how you can bring more of these into your life and how you can create more of it into your life. Ready? So let's get into it. So first and foremost, I need to make a declaration that the self-love that you see promoted on Instagram isn't real self-love. So what I mean is that, yes, self-love is loving yourself and loving your body and feeling good about yourself, but it isn't the end all be all, because what self-love actually is it's a verb. So having self-love for yourself means that you do things daily that give you those feelings of loving yourself. You know what I mean? The Mac Daddy of having high self-love is actually instead having high self-worth. And you can have high self-love but low self-worth. However, you cannot have low self-love if you have high self-worth. See where I'm going with this? So that's why I think it's so much more important to cultivate your self-worth of yourself, so that then that will trickle over into your self-love, because you can have, immense self-love for yourself, but you may find yourself holding yourself back in certain areas because your self-worth isn't matching that. Right? All right. So what is self-worth? Self-worth is how you feel about yourself. It is the value in which you place on your existence. And it's very interesting because a lot of the times you may not realize that you have low self-worth. You think, no, I feel good about myself. And then I ask you, okay, so what are some things you're struggling with? What are some struggles you want to overcome? Well, I'm with this guy and he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to make us, back then it was FBO, Facebook official, this guy wants to keep me a secret, but I really, really like him. It's well, if you had a high sense of self-worth, then you would not put yourself into these relationships or these situations that make you question yourself, right? So from my own experience, I used to be in a relationship many years ago that was verbally and emotionally abusive. And at the time, I thought that that is what I was deserving of. I didn't think I deserved a relationship more beyond that. And yes, that's very sad. But it's also not unusual. there are many people out there who are, not stuck, but like who choose to stay in relationships that do not serve them because we don't have that we don't feel like we are valuable and worthy of anything else. So knowing that you are worthy of existence, knowing that you are worthy of being in healthy relationships, knowing that you are worthy of having a job that you love, that you are able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, like, side note, workaholics, raise your hand. When you know you are worthy of all those things, then you have a high sense of self-worth. Self-worth is so much more powerful than self-love. So self-love is a verb, and what social media gets wrong is that we think that self-love is like this destination. We're like, oh my God, I love myself. I'm amazing. I feel great. I love my body. I move my body because I love it. But it's actually just a continuous journey. And you will never, and I mean this, you will never get to a place where you love your body every single day and you love yourself every single day. But when you have self-love as an operating system in your brain, when you operate from self-love, you will recognize when you're not being loving to yourself and you'll be able to shift. And yes, maybe there are some like unicorns out there who are like perfect and, have amazing lives and love themselves every single day. That's not me. I'm not a perfect human being. And so, side note. But anyways, so that is what self-love is. It's a verb. It's the things that you do for yourself on a daily basis that bring you love towards your body. Self-worth is think of it as like the program that your brain runs on, like a subconscious programming. So you know how on Macs we've got like Sierra, whatever, I forget what it's called, but like the operating system that your computer runs on, that's your self-worth. So if you've got some glitches, if you've got some bugs, if you have that thing like your iPhone keeps shutting down whenever you open the certain app, that's your self-worth. So if you've got low self-worth, then and that's subconsciously running in the background of your life, it's going to shut down every now and again unless you really learn to cultivate it. Self-love, you could have I'm losing my words here, until you learn to cultivate it. So how do we cultivate it? This is my favorite thing to talk about. So there's 3 things that you can do that are going to help cultivate your self-love and your self-worth. So for your self-worth, what I would like you to do, you guys know I always give action steps, is to start writing down 3 things that you value about yourself. What do you value about yourself? Not how you look, but really your characteristics, your strengths, your superpowers. What do you value? And I want you to do this every single day because, as you know, to create a new state of being, we can only do that through daily repetition. Second thing is I want you to start creating boundaries. We're going to talk about internal boundaries and external boundaries. So this first one is going to be an external boundary. So where do you constantly feel as if you are being taken advantage of? Where do you constantly feel like you are letting people walk all over you? And set a boundary. So if that is your friend is always late and, impedes on your schedule, but you allow her to do that every single time, that's a boundary you need to state. If it is coworkers at work who say things about your body, side note, that was totally me. I would let my coworkers touch my legs or call me, ask me if I'm in my off season, if I'm pregnant, and I would never defend myself. I just would take it. So that is a new boundary that you start to establish because you are worthy of that. You know that you're worthy of being treated with respect, and it does not mean that you are rude. It means that you value yourself and you honor yourself and you don't let others inappropriately touch you or make inappropriate comments about you. So you're going to start to establish that boundary. Is this hard? Yes. Is it much easier said than done? Yes. But I promise you, just start with just a small one, just a really small boundary, and start building that up over time. Another great boundary that you can try to use is when you go to a restaurant and they get your food wrong. This might sound hilarious to some of you, but it's true. It's something that I had to work on. When they get your food wrong, instead of just eating it, practice asking them to make it again. So if you asked for your steak medium rare and it's well done, kindly ask the waiter, "Hi, I ordered a medium rare. This looks well done. May I please have a new steak? Will the chef please make this for me again?" I'm telling you, if you're listening to this and you're like, "Oh my God," that sounds terrifying because we're people pleasers. This is a really great boundary to start to establish for yourself and start to practice on. And this is going to help you increase your self-worth about yourself, okay? Now, the third is internal boundaries, which we call keeping our promises to ourselves. Pick one small thing that you're going to do, a power promise, and keep it to yourself every single day. So if you're going to keep the promise of stretching every day, or maybe waking up 30 minutes earlier to establish your new morning routine so you can do your journaling practice, maybe it is to go on a walk every single evening after dinner, or to put down your phone during dinner and talk to your partner. Maybe it's to get off social media by 8 p.m. Pick one internal boundary, which is a promise to yourself, and keep it, because the way that you treat yourself is ultimately the way that you let others treat you. So it first starts with you cultivating your self-love and cultivating that self-worth. Self-worth is everything. When you start to cultivate that self-worth within yourself, it will seep into all other areas of your life. It is valuable. It is so powerful. It is my favorite thing to do. But for the sake of making this episode absorbable, is that a word? We're going to leave it here. So just as a recap, self-love is a verb. It is the things that you do for yourself to keep you in a flow of self-love. It's not a destination. It's a journey, and recognizing that when you perhaps are not being loving to yourself. Maybe you're skipping the gym a little too much. Maybe you're over exercising. Maybe you are reaching for the quick fix foods that are going to give you that sugar rush, but not that long lasting energy you desire. That is self-love, doing things for your body and for yourself to keep you healthy and happy. Self-worth is that programming that your brain runs on. It's subconscious programming. We got to get those glitches out. We got to update our apps. Oh, I crack myself up sometimes. Ready? So let's upgrade our apps, girls. Do the 3 steps I talked about. Write down 3 things you value about yourself daily. Establish an external boundary and establish an internal boundary, aka keep a promise to yourself. I would love to see what your new boundaries are going to be. Tag me on Instagram, send me a DM. I'd love to know what you think about this episode and what you are going to start putting into action today. Update your apps, girlfriends, and let's start operating from a place of high self-worth. If this work is something that you crave support around, I have an amazing life coaching program. It's my signature program called Mindset Makeover Academy, where we go through all of this with 10 weeks with a group of like-minded women on the same journey as you. I think when you're hearing this, that the program should be open. It might not be, we might be full. We officially start September 15th. If you love this topic and you want to dive deeper into it, go down to the show notes, send in an application. Even if this round is full, we are taking on waitlist for the next season 3. So don't put it off. Do it, because this work is so powerful, and it is my absolute passion to lead my clients through this transformation and this journey. I am so passionate about this. This is what I wished I had someone guide me through, and I guided myself through it, but only with lots of failures and setbacks, lots of books, lots and lots of therapy and coaching. So you can get it all in 10 weeks with me, which is awesome. So yep, that's it. I hope you guys loved today's episode. Thank you so much again for investing in yourself with me today. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. I hope you have a great week cultivating your self-worth. Don't forget to be your highest self. I'll see you guys next time.